For the first time, we are coming live from World Tales by AI, and I hope you all will support me just like you did in our short videos and long videos. So, today our topic is about Titanic. You all must be aware of what Titanic actually is and what happened back there when it was first launched. So, today the question is very simple. Was it just an accident or was it just a mass removal for power? So we'll get into it today and I hope you all will support me and keep sharing this feed. So if you guys, if you guys like this, so what we can do is that we will keep on coming live on regular basis and we will entertain your comments, your reviews about the topic we are discussing. So today, like I said, the topic is, if it's about um, if it was an accident or just a master move for power. So you know what they call it a tragedy, but what it actually was is still something people don't know. So let's see, what if it was a cover for something darker? Maybe it was the elimination of power men who stood in the way of New World Order. What was this New World Order? Anyone knows? So, things were a bit difficult at that time. There was no coverage, and everyone was off the view. Everyone was like, they didn't know what actually it is and what's going on. So, the Titanic was the pride of elite engineering. It was known as unsinkable, as you all must be aware of, but it sank on its very first voyage. Around 1,500 people lost their lives, amongst them three men who opposed the creation of the Federal Reserve. It was 1912. This was the year 1912. And the main issue at that time was, the creation of the Federal Reserve, and few people opposed it. Titanic had a twin that was, known as the RMS Olympic, which had been badly damaged. Many people believe that White Star Line switched the ships, sinking Olympic as Titanic to collect massive insurance payout. The reason was it was nearly identical design. Insurance raised last minute. Lifeboats were missing, as you can also see from the movie that they were short of the lifeboats, which is a very basic thing when you go on such a big cruise ride and you don't have the backup for the emergency exits, and you are supposed to, as you can see in the picture also, there's a boat carrying people, and mostly people are on the board and they are sinking. So this was, you know might be a reason. Safety drills were cancelled on the very last moment. Can you imagine that? On a very last moment. So, you know, plans failure or freak accident still unknown. Who died versus who cancelled? The people who were on board and they died. One of them was John Jacob. He was the wealthiest man in America. Benjamin, Isidore Strauss, Macy's co-owner. They were on board and they died. All openly opposed the Federal Reserve Plan. These were the ones, they were against it. So, the ones who cancelled very last minute, JP Morgan. He was the Titanic's funder. George, Milton Hershey, they just cancelled. How convenient. So, the real aftershock was the Federal Reserve. In 1913, just 1 year after the Titanic sank, the Federal Reserve was established and a private banking system that took control of Americans' money. The men who could have stopped it, they were dead. The men who wanted it, they were alive. The strange clues no one understands and no one can answer is that Titanic's most senior officer was replaced right before their departure. How was that possible? Then a nearby ship, the Californian, had no passengers but was fully stocked with blankets and lifeboats. Its radio operator, it was turned off. Communication before Titanic's distress call. I mean, how can you do that? No one can do that. Like, you can, if you're going for the first ride in any sort of vehicle, may it be a ship, may it be an airplane, may it be anything. In 1912, 1930, it was, the start of a very good era, at the start of a good era, and there were people who were, getting advanced, but still they lack these few things. It's strange. Some survivors claimed they heard explosions before the iceberg. So do you think that might be, something people can, hide? That is, they had explosives. And the iceberg, yeah, that's, we all know that icebergs can be dangerous. But still, people said they heard explosions. The ship split in half, not typical of an ice collision. I mean, like, you cannot, if something struck your ship, only that part will be damaged. But in this case, the unsinkable, it was cut in half. I mean, uh, there might be different reasons. Maybe we are wrong. Maybe the research we did, maybe it was wrong. But still, there was something behind it. Who benefited from the tragedy? White Star Line avoided massive legal losses. JP Morgan collected insurance and lost rivals. Federal Reserve architects passed the act unchallenged because there was no one in the meeting in that time who was supposed to oppose the Federal Reserve. Elite bankers consolidated full control over US monetary policy. Follow the money, not the iceberg. So the unanswered questions were like, why did everything that happened after reshaped global finance? Why did every voice against central banking get silenced at sea? History doesn't always erase opposition with guns. Sometimes it sinks it quietly. It's something, that is on my mind, which is true. Sometimes it sinks it quietly. The blueprint of control. Every tragedy tells a story. Some create grief, others create infrastructure for power. The Titanic wasn't just sinking ship, it was a doorway into a new financial empire. And the price? Any guesses? What was the price? Well, it was 1,500 lives and a truck. So, let's conclude what we have been discussing from the past few minutes. I hope you guys will, like this video, this live feed, and you will encourage us to come live more frequently. So, the conclusion, the final truth, it was that you people were told that the Titanic hit an iceberg, but the deeper you dive, the more intentional it feels. Can you imagine? Like, we all have been told that it was struck by something and it was cut in half. The famous movie, The Titanic, as you can see, has converted the whole scenario into a love story. A love story of someone who got separated just because of the shipwreck, and what actually was behind it, nobody cares, nobody knows, nobody wants to know, because the only thing that comes to their unconscious mind is that it was just a love story. Something happened, an accident that, destroyed everything for a couple. But it might not be true. The deeper you dive, the more intentional it feels. It's not a disaster, it's a removal operation. It's not a chaos, it's a restructure. Like I said, history doesn't sink ships, power does. And it always makes sure the lifeboats are reserved for those who write the rules. People say history is written by the winners. So, whatever they say, the historians, they are always going for that because they are the winners. So, like we said, it was amazing uh, that, I will try to come live more frequently, and we will try to bring some more interesting topics. If you guys are interested in any other topic that you like, we've started with the Titanic. We will come up with some of the legendary stories, some myths, some beautiful personalities in history, and then we can, uh, see and see what would actually it might turn into. So thank you so much, everyone, and please keep on supporting.